Hi, everyone, welcome back to Babaobaba channel. In the earlier parts of Marvel Comics, the stories of their various monsters would be detailed, including Journey into Mystery, Strange Tales, Tales of Suspense and Tales to Astonish. They are giant aliens, Kaiju, deviant mutates, and horribly wrong experiments monster. Some of the monsters were later seen on Monster Isle in Marvel Comics stories. Today, we will take you to the world of monsters in the Marvel Universe by ranking the top 10 characters who got their powers from being born or becoming or being capable of turning themselves into a giant monster, or Kaiju. Which will have what characters? Let's take a look at it better with Top 10 Kaiju in Marvel Universe. Number 10. Krakowa, or also known as Kid Kaiju. As for 10th place, Krakowa may not be a direct monster. He's just an inhuman, but his power is very closely related to monsters. Krakowa was an eager fan of the monsters whose family lived in Atlanta. K, being a creative kid whom loved to draw especially monsters. There was one time, as the Terrigen cloud swept through town. K had been exposed to this cloud. After undergoing the Terrigenesis process that made the latent inhuman genes within K were activated and transformed him into inhuman, and gained wonderful ability to summon the monsters by drawing them on his sketchpad. In addition to summoning monsters, K can speak with just about any kind of monster he comes in contact with. And was the Kid Kaiju not only summon creatures from across the universe and back, but fabricate creatures of his own design and materialize them after drumming them up. Not only that, another special quality of his designed beasties is that he can draw them into one being with all the combined attributes of his previous creatures, and also have other abilities that empowers the monsters he has created. His abilities were considered to be a wonderful ability. Number 9. Fenris Wolf. The Fenris Wolf is a creature of the Asgardian dimension who is said to be an offspring of Loki and the giant Angrboda and brother of the Jormungand. It is a huge wolf with human-like intelligence and vast strength and ability to change its shape to that of a god or to change its size to that of a real wolf. Prior to its maturity, Fenris threatened Iduna, guardian of the Golden Apples of God, and tries to steal the Apples of Idun. Finally, Fenris was banished to Varanheim by Hakan the Hunter, which has become its home ever since. Fenris is monstrously strong enough to lift hundreds of tons with ease. It has superhuman speed, superhuman agility, superhuman stamina, superhumanly acute senses, and godlike invulnerability. It has shape-shifting power to have multiple transformation powers. Number 8. Devil Dinosaur. Devil Dinosaur is a reed dinosaur similar to a Tyrannosaurus Rex that was born on an alternate Earth at Earth 78411. A primitive reality in the past. In the young Devil Dinosaur was nearly burned to death by a tribe of killer folk, but was rescued by Moon Boy, a young member of the rival tribe, the Small Folk. Exposure to the killer folk's fire activated a mutation in the dinosaur that gave it greater powers than the other species in transforming its skin from green to flame red. After that event, Devil Dinosaur was fiercely loyal to his constant companion Moon Boy. And later Devil Dinosaur became a partner of Lunella Lafayette, or also known as Moon Girl, from rescue her from the killer folk. Devil Dinosaur is highly intelligent and seems to understand most situations and have superhuman strength. Number 7. Godzilla. Of course, if talking about Kaiju and not mentioning Godzilla, it would be impossible. And of course, Marvel itself has a Godzilla character as well, and has its own headline as well. However, Marvel no longer has the licensing rights to use the Godzilla name due to the license lapsing, as it was licensed out to Dark Horse Comics, and later IDW Publishing. According to the research of Dr. Yuriko Takaguchi, Godzilla was spawned during Pacific nuclear bomb tests in the 1950s. The first recorded moment when the monster attacked Tokyo was in 1956. However, Godzilla eventually became trapped in ice off the coast of Alaska. Godzilla was break-free during the modern age. With the creature cutting a swath of destruction across the northern state, the spy agency known as S.H.I.E.L.D. formed a new Godzilla squad to try and stop the monster. This squad included S.H.I.E.L.D. veterans Dum Dum Dugan and Jimmy Woo, along with Dr. Takaguchi, his grandson Robert, and scientist Tamara Hoshika. In addition to that, Godzilla also fought against 3 superhero teams like the Champions, Fantastic Four, and the Avengers. For its ability, atomic fire breath is the best recognized as his signature weapon. Godzilla is able to expel a deadly nuclear blast from his mouth. The blast is powerful enough to create large-scale explosions and was strong enough to match Thor. Number 6. Krakowa. Krakowa is the island that walks like a man. It is a living island mutant. It is believed that Krakowa was a very small island in the Pacific Ocean near the site of nuclear bombing tests. It was thought that the radiation somehow turned the island's ecosystem into a single hive mind entity. When Professor X detected a powerful mutant signal on a remote island in the middle of the Pacific using Cerebro, he dispatched the original team of X-Men to investigate. It would turn out that the island Krakowa was the mutant that Xavier detected. But it was later revealed that in reality, Krakowa was part of a greater land called Akira, but it was attacked by an enemy wielding a twilight sword. Akira was split into 2 creatures, Krakowa and Irako. Krakowa can create moving, semi-humanoid and animal forms of various sizes out of its component Earth. Its largest humanoid form possessed superhuman strength. Krakowa can block the powers of telepaths trying to communicate with those on the island. Krakowa cannot actually speak or understand language and does not seem to actually act out of conscious thought. Number 5. Zemnu. For this furry giant shaped like a yeti, he's actually an alien from the Keter system. And before he became a fluffy white giant, he had first appeared with orange fluff before. Zemnu was an interplanetary criminal who had been imprisoned on a prison planet until he escaped and stole a supply ship. After his spaceship ran out of fuel and crashed, Zemnu landed on Earth. Joe Harper, an electrician, discovers his unconscious body. Hopeful that he could revive Zemnu by repairing his cybernetic parts, Harper brought Zemnu's body to his workshop. There he revived Zemnu through an electrolysis process. While recharging, Zemnu revealed that he was a convict and then used his hypnosis rays to take control of Harper. After confirming that his hypnosis did in fact work on humans, Zemnu enthralled the entire human race with his hypnosis rays, and ordered them to design and construct his new spacecraft so Zemnu could return home. As Zemnu departed, Harper was released from Zemnu's telepathic hold and sabotaged the ship's electrical system, electrocuting him and causing him to fall into a coma-like state. As the ship departed, Zemnu's hold over the people of Earth faded and they forgot he had ever existed. Later, his fur had turned white, after reappearing in Marvel feature, and after he has also played a role in the Marvel Universe several times, and has a lot to do with the Hulk. Zemnu has telepathy, telekinesis, and the power of mass hypnosis rays, whom he has used multiple times to control. These rays make exposed individual obedient to his will and even makes them view Zemnu as a wise and benevolent leader. His superhuman size and strength being enough to battle with Hulk-level foes. Number 4. Mangog. Mangog, as it originally referred to itself, is the physical manifestation and sum total of the hatred of a billion beings from a race that was slaughtered by the ruler of Asgard, Odin. Mangog was imprisoned deep beneath Asgard, until he was accidentally released by the rock troll Ulik, and he went on to conduct numerous wars against Odin and the other Norse gods. Mangog has shown physically unstoppable and is generally beaten only if he relies on psychic energy felt by other sentient beings to sustain itself as exploited. Without such a source, Mangog shrinks to near nothingness. Mangog's power level depends on the amount of psychic energy that is feeding them at the moment. It possesses virtually limitless physical strength, stamina, and durability. It has also displayed some minor magical abilities like Shepesha fighting, mystic senses, and energy blasts and manipulation. Mangog psychically feeds on the emotions and beliefs of other beings. Should he be cut off from his power source, he will shrivel up and fade into oblivion, but as long as hatred is a thing, it's near impossible for that to happen, as for the fact that every living creature has some sort of hatred that dwells within them. Number 3. Symbiote Dragons. In the past, Null, the first god of the abyss, through experimenting with his ability to create life out of darkness, learned he could manifest massive wyvern-like monsters out of the living abyss he commanded. That is symbiote dragons. They're as powerful enough to kill most gods. These symbiote dragons were used as everything from mounts to weapons of mass destruction capable of annihilating entire civilizations, and their constituent living abyss could be used to smother entire planets or infect gods and mortals alike with parasitic symbiote offshoots, and turning them into soldiers for Null's army. Symbiote dragons are vastly more powerful than normal symbiotes, to the point of being capable of overpowering and killing gods, and are highly resistant to the traditional symbiote weaknesses of fire and sonics. Symbiote dragons can generate tendrils, blades, and spikes formed of living abyss. Symbiote dragon possess the ability to breathe fire and other forms of energy, and they could expel torrents of living abyss from their jaws capable of infecting those exposed with symbiotes. Number 10. Schummacher. Schummacher was originally one of the many nightmares that plagued the first demons in the earliest days of creation. They were physically manifested in the spaces between universes as a memory echo of those nightmares. Back then, they were known only as the many-angled ones and were not considered separate beings, until they finally managed to create their own individual identities and personalities. When Schummacher finally gained its own identity, it slipped through a fissure in time and space and ended up on Earth 616, where it took control of the planet during the Jurassic Age. And Schummacher created Quaggoth as a servant. Quaggoth rebelled against his master, but Schummacher defeated Quaggoth and sealing him away inside an ancient sepulchre before sinking it into the ocean as punishment for his betrayal. Sometime around 1 million years ago, Schummacher was banished from the Earth realm by the time-traveling sorcerer, Sisnag. This was all observed by another time-traveling sorcerer, Doctor Strange, who had hoped to defeat Schummacher in the past. And later, it plays a role in every era to the present. Schummacher was portrayed to be the most magically powerful evil god within the Marvel Universe. Schummacher is most powerful in its home dimension as it is omnipotent in every sense of the word. He is considered to be one of the primal power of chaos. He was stated to be the greatest of the old ones. Schummacher is able to travel dimensions freely, invading alternate dimensions and conquering then absorbing them. Schummacher had revealed that it is ruler of hundreds of dimensions including the Cancerverse. He can create and direct powerful blasts of mystical energy and effect transmutations on a planetary scale. His skin is rubbery and armored, making him difficult to damage except by the most powerful magics. His size seems to be related to his power, as he is truly gigantic in his home dimension. On Earth he has always appeared substantially smaller, though it is confirmed that only the smallest part of Schummacher's essence manifests on Earth when he is invoked, thus he has only been seen at full power within his home dimension. The power of Schummacher is such that he can destroy multiple galaxies solely through his aura pressure. So, Schummacher was a truly terrifying enemy. And finally, number 1. Fangful. Alright, let's get to the last one with Fangful. Fangful is an alien dragon from Kakaranatheru, which is also known as Makluan in the Maklu system of the Greater Magellanic Cloud. He looked like a slightly anthropomorphic Chinese dragon. He and several others of his race left their world in search of planets to conquer. They came to Earth and landed at ancient China in the valley. The crew used their natural shape-shifting powers to mimic human form, intending to enter human society and bide their time before beginning their conquest. The valley the ship was located would come to be known as the Valley of the Dragons. They put Fangful in a catatonic state as a backup and was placed in a tomb and given a herb that would send him into a deep slumber, so that he might sleep while his crew entered man's world. He is awakened by Chan Linchao, whose homeland was under threat from the communist Chinese. Linchao taunted Fum with the threat of the herb. a teenager uses Fum to decimate the Communist Party of China. Afterwards, the boy uses an herb to put the dragon back to sleep. Fangful, in the periods between his arrival on Earth and the modern present, would encounter various other monstrous creatures, brawling with many of them. He has also fought other heroes such as Thor, Hulk and Iron Man. At some point the sleeping Fum was captured by the Collector and put into a type of zoo with other monsters. Fum and the other monsters were liberated when the Mole Man attacked the facility, but were later rounded up by the recently formed Fantastic Four and deposited on Monster Isle. However, Fum dislikes being on the island and escapes back to China and into hibernation once again. Fum possesses vast superhuman strength, the full limits of which aren't known. His massive wings enable the powerful dragon to fly in excess of the speed of sound. Fum is extremely resistant to injury and resistant to both extreme heat and extreme cold. He has been shown to withstand high-caliber bullets, anti-tank weaponry, falls from tremendous heights, great impact forces and powerful energy blasts without sustaining injury. He possesses the ability to produce and expel an acid-like green mist from his mouth. Fum possesses the ability to alter both his physical appearance and size to a considerable degree. Fum has demonstrated that he possesses some degree of telepathic abilities. Okay, it's over for top 10 Kaiju in Marvel Universe. Which one do you all like? For me personally, I like Schummacher the most. Don't forget like, share and subscribe to encourage us to produce more good content. For today, goodbye.